Hey friends, this is Charles here, and something I want to start doing is talking about some of my favorite comic book covers. I figure I'll call this Judge a Book by Its Cover. That old saying really doesn't apply when it comes to comic books. Don't judge a book by its cover because comic books are a medium that employs images into storytelling as much as words. And when I first got started collecting, I had a few of the bigger names I thought I might like. But then I just went around the store and just looked at covers for stuff that really drew my interest, hoping that the cover would be an insight to what was inside the book. And it's still a way, I will judge a book by its cover. And a lot of times, you have, if you get an A cover, your primary cover, you're going to have the artist that does the inside work a lot of times, and it's going to um, most of the time reflect what's inside the book. And so let's just take a look at a couple of covers. And first off, let's start with Berserker from Boom Studios. This is the book written by Keanu Reeves. I believe is this number one? Yes. I have multiple covers here, but you see the book here. You have a warrior. He's in some kind of battle. You have the blood red smoke behind him. You can tell this is going to be an action oriented title from the cover. And when you look inside of it, it does not disappoint. Um, you have that vivid blood red and, the darkness and the brooding, image of the character as well. Things are really dark, outside of that red, which is thematic through I believe the whole series. It cools down a little bit in some of the parts where he's recovering. And so this is a book right here. You look at the cover and you're like, okay, let's see if I can get into this. Plus, it's backed up by brilliant writing. If you haven't read Berserker, I would suggest getting, the first few volumes now are available. They put out a couple of one shots as well. I know they're making it into a Netflix movie, so that'll be something to look out for. But I would highly suggest it if you are into action-oriented, affairs. Then this is one of the first books I bought during that phase where I didn't really know what I wanted. I like Bruce. I like Bruce Lee. I like those kung fu movies from the 70s and 80s, and it really doesn't look too much like Bruce Lee, but you see almost that 70s style drawing. You have a Chuck Norris like figure going on here, and it looks very much of a different time of that 70s flavor. And again, the action inside is kind of a throwback. When was this put out? Okay, yeah, so this is put out in '93, and so it's a fairly old book, but it even looks a little bit throws back a little bit before that. A lot of action, a lot of close combat fighting. Um, very fast paced moving book, and you see that here in the illustration. The blur of his leg as it's going across the air and he's flying through the ring. And, that is another book that you can't judge by its cover, and I was not disappointed with that. The Cimmerian, Queen of the Black Coast. The Cimmerian was one of my favorite recent books from Blaze Comics. And this book right here, let me tell you, this is not one that you want to buy for your kids. Then again, it's like if you look at the art, the buxom female falling out of her armor and the blood and guts right there on the cover. And so it is not misleading at all. The giant stake, you're in for some action, some mysticism, some sensuality. And that is what you get from the book. And I'm not going to open this book because I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. But if you're a fan of Conan, this is very true to the original writer's vision and his writing. Um, it is from Blaze Comics, and a lot of their stuff does seem to trend toward the more mature side of the comic sphere. And this is a more recent title. I am loving this. Deep Cuts. Um, and the thing that I love about this is it seems to contextualize and wrap up the story in each cover. You have the protagonist right here. He is relatively small, with his clarinet looking almost nervous. And you have this brooding figure who is, obviously somebody who is esteemed, but also somebody who looks like he may be a bit nefarious. And when you get into the book, this cover makes a lot of sense, and it tells a story on its own. And as a bonus treat for the music nerds, when you get through the book, you have a composition written for each edition of Deep Cuts. And so that's pretty cool. I might actually go about learning those and recording them and playing them for you guys if I can get the time to do something like that. And another example of being able to judge a book by its cover is Mothman. This one, it is what it is, but it's so much more as well. The art style that you see here is consistent. And it's a little bit, campy. You have the stereotypical flying saucer. You have the Mothman mysteriously coming out of the smoke here, and it's a very how can I say, kind of a realistic, more of a photorealistic style of art here, and the book looks the same. But as I pointed out in another video, it has a nice comedic turn in it as well, and the brutalness and of the art and the photorealism of the art kind of contradicted with the comedic edge is also very well written into the writing as well. It has its moments of levity as well as its moments of action and drama and realism. And so this is Judge a Book by its cover. If you're in a comic book store, you don't know what to buy, dig around to the back issues. Talk to the store proprietor and take a chance on something new. You see a cover you like, judge a book by its cover, and if you get the book and it's not exactly your speed, what have you lost with a little bit of time and enjoyment? Comic books have been a great gift for me after I had COVID. It helped me recover mentally. I had big concentration issues and a lot of equilibrium issues. And reading comic books really got me back to being full strength cognitively. And so, it's never a waste of time to read. Anyway, you guys, this has been Judge a Book by its cover. Stay tuned for more comic book and action figure content. And I will see you guys soon.